So it's very common for me to get the question from female friends and then my clients personally, the question of why men always ghost them and disappear on them and how they can keep the guy interested. I totally understand it can be really frustrating, especially when the same thing happens over and over and over and over again. And you have nothing to do but to question yourself and to question what the hell's wrong. Are all guys like this? Are all guys, not interested in committing? Is it always going to be like this? Is there something wrong with me? Those questions surface, then you're left thinking, how the hell could I do this? Stick around, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix that issue. Stay tuned. What's going on, guys? My name is Assam from dopelifecoaching.com, and today I'm going to be talking about why men always ghost you or disappear on you and how to keep the guy interested. So before you watch the rest of the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and you also subscribe below. Make sure you also turn on your bell notifications so you get immediate notification when I upload my new videos. Make sure you also comment in the comment section for future videos that you'd personally like me to cover. So here's what you need to understand. If you keep getting the same results with men of your interest, then there's obviously a pattern, and more than likely you are doing something wrong. Sometimes it's just pure luck, but most times you are doing something wrong. And there's usually one main reason under this vast umbrella of other things that could possibly be going wrong. So let's go ahead and cover it. So here's the issue. Very likely you have what's known as a scarcity mindset. Now what is that? Well, when you are meeting and connecting with men of your interest, because of your past and because of the bad experiences of your past, very likely, or the lack of experiences you've had with members of the opposite sex, you have a very fearful mentality of losing this particular man because you're so interested in him. So what happens when you're fearful of losing him? You try to hold on very tightly and you try to keep him. And because you're fearful of losing him, it's your mindset that's going on subconsciously. You start to act and think and be in consistent ways with that belief. You start to try to call him more, to try to overchase him, to try to lock him down, to give him a bad attitude if he said he was going to call you, but he did not. Why? Because you're very fearful of losing him. And then in your mind, you're like, what the fuck is going on? This happens every single time with every single guy. What's the problem? I'm not doing something wrong per se. But the truth is, on an unconscious level, even if you don't mean it, you are. The wrong part about all of this is the mindset, the mentality of lack of abundance. It's a scarcity mindset. An abundance mindset would be like, you know what? I'm interested in him. I called him. If he doesn't return the call, it doesn't really matter. But in your case, even if you're probably a confident person, but in this aspect of your life, you have a scarcity mindset. You are very fearful of losing this man. You meet a man and you two both hit it off, and then you're automatically thinking about your wedding, your future with him. Oh my God, he's so unique. And you barely even know him. Why would he merit that type of award from you, that type of recognition, that type of praise from you if you don't even know him too well? Maybe he seems like an amazing guy, but he could not be. Maybe the opposite. But the idea is your scarcity mindset is driving you to do certain things consistent with that scarcity mindset. And eventually it turns into a vicious cycle where, because you get bad results, you have a shitty belief about men, which gives you worse tapping into your potential as a woman and showing up as your best self, which gives you even worse results. And then you keep telling yourself, see, they all suck. And it's like a vicious cycle. The truth is, they don't all suck. But rather the mentality behind all of this, that's the cause of the issue, right? When you have a problem, you try to fix the cause of the issue, which is the scarcity mindset. In order to fix it, there's certain things that I'm about to go over right now, but you need to understand this fully and grasp it, because this is what's pushing them away, and you're just trying to latch onto them. Even if it's done unconsciously, it still makes a difference. Guys can pick up on it on an unconscious level. Even. They may not be consciously aware of it, but unconsciously and subconsciously it makes a difference. Trust me. So let me give you a real life example. A couple of years back, I was talking to a girl I was interested in at the time. And the funny thing is, this girl was like drop dead gorgeous. But here's the issue. She had a root cause of fear and insecurities from her childhood that carried over to her adulthood when she met me. from her childhood, she wasn't like this when she met me, but from her childhood, she was a fat girl. Her parents would call her, and also her grandparents, in her language, what means bear. She was Arab. And so that caused her to be insecure over the years, and that carried over to her adulthood because unfortunately she didn't fix it. I'm not saying it's her fault, but this is exactly what happened. And because of that, it carried over to her adulthood. She didn't fix the root cause of the issue. Those insecurities were projected onto me. And on top of that, the dynamic between her mom and dad was very dysfunctional. It wasn't a consistent exchange of love and affection towards one another, and a consistent exchange of sexual polarity between the masculine and the feminine in a healthy way. So one night I was studying for an exam with one of my friends, and I had told her I was going to be studying all night. And so obviously I didn't call her because I was studying all night until like 4 a.m. And that upset her. So she texted me, she was just like, I was clearly not on your mind. Good night. And so what I was telling her, I responded with her by text. I was like, that's not true, babe. I was with my friend and we were studying all night, like I told you. I didn't attack her back because I understood where she was coming from and I tolerated it for a while. But what I'm saying is, back to what I was saying earlier, that scarcity mindset took over to her adult life. She had a scarcity mindset that whenever she meets a man, he's going to lose interest for her because she's very insecure about her looks, even though she was gorgeous. It's kind of crazy. And so because it took over, it affected and she projected herself onto whoever she was seeing, including me, with those insecurities. And what that causes for us guys is we eventually pull away from that, slowly but surely. I tolerated it for a while. There was other reasons why it didn't work out, but that was just one real life example that I'm telling you. Great girl, she was very sweet and she was very direct too, which I really love direct women. But when they have those types of insecurities built in and those insecurities are projected onto you, it's kind of like you have to repair someone all over again. And I was trying, but it just became too much, and then we slowly grew apart for other reasons. That was just one reason, but the point of the story is this is a real life example. And she's told me from her past that many men have pulled away from her and she didn't know why. But to me, it was pretty loud and clear. Her insecurities took over, unfortunately. So the idea is you want things to be effortless. You don't want to have to explain yourself and fix a certain person every single time. It's fine sometimes because we all have insecurities, including myself, of course, but to an extent. When someone is full of insecurities and they project that onto you way too much, it doesn't become effortless, which it's supposed to be. It just feels harder than it should be. It feels like it's too much work. And this doesn't necessarily mean that the men of your interest are bad people. No, they don't want to hurt you. But you need to find ways to be secure with yourself. And here's the solution. You have to immediately discard that old mindset like trash, right? Just throw it in the garbage. I know it's not easy, but how do you do this? The first way is I'd recommend reading a book called Your Erroneous Zones by Wayne Dyer. It's a great book. It shows our erroneous zones, how we think erroneously many times, and our insecurities, and how to deal with it, and better yet, accept them as they are. And also, a more powerful method is what I like to call the as-if method. The as-if method basically suggests that you get a piece of paper and you write down 3 categories: what you absolutely need in a man, and what you just want in a man, you don't necessarily need it, and what you absolutely can't tolerate, you can't have in a man. Be very specific. The more specific, the better. There's no limit to the amount of qualities you put in, but just put as much as possible. Write that down and start emotionalizing and believing that you're there already, or that that man exists for you, and that it's just a matter of time before he comes into your life and you naturally attract him. And you look at this every morning once you first wake up and before you go to sleep. Why? The idea is you're starting to emotionalize this because you're going to get excited. And when you get excited, your emotions of belief are going to start kicking in. You're going to start believing that this is possible. And then you're going to be convinced even more that it's possible, regardless of your past. You do this day in and day out, strengthen the belief, emotionalize the belief, and then slowly but surely, this will work out for you. If you're thinking of a quick overnight fix, that's pretty ridiculous. That's not gonna happen. Like, let's be fucking realistic. But do this enough times, emotionalize that belief consistently, and watch what happens. And also, the book, Your Erroneous Zones, I'd highly recommend you read it, because the idea is you wanna work on your insecurities. And you'd be surprised at the results after this, because you'll be naturally acting from a position of abundance, a mindset of abundance and belief, and non-neediness. The neediness mindset will be erased. Why? Because of the law of attraction. You're not thinking that this is gonna happen every single time. You're not going in with the wrong mentality. You're going in with the right mentality, and you're not projecting your fears and insecurities onto the guy because of that. It all starts here. Because you have that good mentality and that healthy and confident mentality, that abundance mentality, none of this bad stuff and insecurities are going to take over. And so you'll start to attract them naturally. It's just a matter of time. You have to believe this. That's the law of attraction. Believe that it's just a matter of time before it happens, and slowly but surely it will happen. Again, this is not gonna happen out of thin air. You're gonna have to put some effort into this, but I'm truly telling you this because I believe it will work, and I know it will work for you as long as you consistently and emotionalize those beliefs, and you should be golden in just a matter of time. Watch. So that pretty much covers everything in the video, guys. Like and subscribe below. Make sure you also turn on bell notifications so you can get immediate notification when I release my new content. Make sure you also comment down in the comment section of things you'd personally like me to cover for future videos. I'd love to help you out. Go to www.dopelifecoaching.com. We still have free consultations for first timers, so make sure you take immediate advantage of that offer before it expires. And that's pretty much it. Live your life, be consistent, give yourself those good beliefs, and you should be golden to find the right guy. Take care.